Well, it's my turn to share. And wow, where do I begin? When somebody that you love suffers a traumatic brain injury, it's absolutely emotionally devastating. But the emotional devastation pales in comparison practically to what is a Herculean task required in order to be a proper advocate for your loved one. Being a caregiver feels like turning yourself into a train that's responsible for pushing like a 15-ton truck and never, ever, ever resting. In the past 28 months, Patrick and I have engaged some amazing therapists. And yet, unless a therapist has actually been a caregiver at some point in their life, it's impossible for them, just like it is for everyone else, to understand why we push so hard. I feel like people don't understand that caregivers are the coal in the fire. You know, we're the gas in the tank, we're the momentum that pushes things forward. And it's a really hard role to be in, because especially if you're in a romantic relationship where it's not a parental thing. It's not like, Patrick's my kid and I always was parenting him, so, this is the role that he and I always had. I had to become sort of like a quasi parent to him when he was reduced to an infant-like state. And then I had to learn over time how to parent less and go back to being a girlfriend. It's a very difficult role. You have to become almost super sensitive to the littlest nuances that make the person that you love who they are. You have to be super sensitive to knowing when to push, when not to push, how to talk to the person, how not to talk to the person, what motivates the person, what doesn't, how to tap into their strength and help them overcome their fear. I mean, the roles that caregivers have, we're teachers, we're instructors, we're therapists, we're accountants, we're, chauffeurs, wardens sometimes, we're personal chefs, certified nursing assistants, psychiatrists, psychologists, herbalists, alternative medicine practitioners, researchers. I mean, we have to become all of these things. That's the thing about caregiving, is that if you really want to do it well, it pretty much inevitably will become your whole life. We're here in Florida and Patrick's just completely kicking butt. But I can't tell you the amount of focus that it takes for him to achieve the goals that he came here with. And now the goal that he came here with was to get rid of the walker. And that's not a simple thing. He already knew how to walk with the walker when he came here, but he wasn't walking properly. So he had to go back and break it down tiny piece by tiny piece, reinforcing it over and over and over. And despite what you guys see on our Facebook page, behind the scenes, this is just incredibly difficult work, very frustrating for Patrick. I recognize that if I lose my faith, if I lose my hope, it really affects him, and that he draws his strength from me. It's so important that I maintain that. And I learned very early on not to show him weakness. I would cry in the shower, I'd get in my car and scream at the top of my lungs and blast really loud music. I don't really do that anymore. I haven't really cried in the shower in quite some time, thank God. But I guess I'm just trying to convey what a difficult role it is to be in. But I'm blessed because we understand each other, and we have all the way back since he was in the coma. He may not listen to me right in the moment when he's frustrated, but we always come back again to loving each other and to listening. It requires from both of us an extreme amount of patience and to remember that we have the same goals. So I just thought I would share a little bit about what the experience is like being a caregiver, and to especially talk to those who are on the outskirts of this situation, people who are friends of caregivers who are taking care of someone with a brain injury. Please show those people support. You cannot imagine how isolating this journey can be, especially in the beginning, especially, right after the 6-month mark or even a year mark, when, that initial support that a lot of people have just fades away and people go back to their lives, and the caregiver and the survivor are very much left on their own. Thanks again for supporting us. Please share this video. I hope it's as nice where you guys are living as it is here. It's like 85 degrees. Sorry, don't be jealous.